You're something beautiful, electrochemical.
Okay, imagine this. Just a hint of tension, maybe a coded message crackling through, that feeling right before something big happens. That's kind of the vibe we're starting with today. Welcome to the deep dive.
It's great to be here. This is where we really unpack the source materials you send over, trying to get to the heart of what makes them compelling.
Exactly. And today, you've pointed us towards a techno-thriller by Rose Sandy, the Decrypter, The Storm's Eye. So our mission, really, is to figure out why fans of this particular genre, the action, the tech, the conspiracies, why they might want to pick this one up.
Yeah, and what strikes you pretty quickly, I think, is how Sandy takes those elements, the skilled operatives, the global stakes, and weaves in some really inventive, fictional but interesting technology.
Right, you're definitely stepping into a world where conspiracies feel real and technology is maybe a bit beyond what we have now. So let's start with the main character, Calla Cress. What's interesting is her background. She's not your standard spy from day one. She comes from being a museum curator.
Yeah, which is a fascinating jump, right, from artifacts to cyber operations.
Right.
And the sources hint pretty strongly that she has some unique skills. We don't want to spoil anything, but it's definitely more than just knowing history.
Okay. And she's not alone. We've got Nash Shields, an NSA analyst, and Jack Cleave, who's the tech guru.
And they have this history, this connection, through an organization called the ISTF. You get the sense they're this specialized task force dealing with these high-tech, high-stakes situations.
So that existing dynamic is key, isn't it? A team that already knows each other, has that trust, or maybe some friction too. It makes the danger feel more immediate because you care about their relationships.
Absolutely. You've got Calla with her specific abilities, Nash with the analysis, Jack with the tech know-how, and being part of the ISTF suggests they're already operating at a pretty high level.
And the book seems to throw you right in. We get this mention of someone named Seaback escaping, which sounds serious.
Yeah, straight away you think, okay, who is this person? Why are they important? Who's behind this? It sets up a threat.
Then suddenly we're in Kauai. Kalala, Nash, and someone named Mari are on this yacht, the Scorpion Tide, and it's described as a floating digital extravagance.
Which sounds amazing, frankly, but it's not just a pleasure cruise. This yacht, apparently a gift from Kalala's father, who was MI6.
Oh, interesting connection.
Right. It's basically a mobile command center.
Yeah.
And even though they're in paradise, they're investigating something at a presidential retreat nearby, and that pulls them into, well, something much bigger.
It's that classic calm before the storm feeling, but on a very high-tech yacht.
Exactly. And that contrast, the luxury versus the looming danger, it ramps up the tension. You immediately start wondering, okay, how does the escape connect to this retreat? How does the yacht fit in? The tech level hints at the kind of threats they're up against.
Speaking of tech, let's talk about the links pyramid. That seems central.
It does. It's mentioned as being fragmented, somehow linked to Project Storm and a place called Geostation Island.
And the potential here is weather manipulation.
Yeah, and not just that, but quantum computing capabilities are mentioned too, which, is that next level computing power that could theoretically solve problems current computers just can't handle.
So harnessing that for weather control, that's a classic techno-thriller concept. Big power, big danger.
Definitely. And then there's this encrypted sound file found on the president's laptop, which adds that urgency, that ticking clock element. They need to figure out what it means fast.
So for you, the reader who likes that blend of, say, plausible science pushed just a bit further and high-stakes puzzles, this sounds right up your alley.
Absolutely. The fragmented pyramid, the encrypted sound, these are mysteries for the characters and the reader to unravel. And using quantum computing and weather control as the hook, it's very much in the genre's sweet spot.
And you can't have a thriller like this without some shady characters pulling strings. We get names like Vortigern, Lascar Aspel.
And interestingly, Nash's own brother, Fosterland Shields, seems involved somehow.
Oh, okay. So that adds a personal layer to the conflict for Nash, presumably. It's not just a job.
Exactly. You get the sense the stakes are personal as well as global. And there are hints of action, too. Hang gliding off cliffs, infiltrating secure places. It's not all just sitting behind screens decoding things.
Right. You need that mix, the brainy puzzle solving and the more physical action and suspense. Introducing these mysterious figures, especially one connected to a main character, just deepens the intrigue.
It raises the emotional stakes, definitely.
Let's think about the themes here. What might resonate with genre fans? There's the obvious one about technology, right? The power and the peril.
Especially something like weather control. The potential for good is huge, But the potential for misuse is, well, terrifying. The book seems to be asking those questions about where you draw the line.
Which is a timeless debate, really. Science versus ethics, how far should we go? Who gets to decide? Technothrillers love exploring that gray area.
And it makes you think, doesn't it, about the real-world implications as our own tech advances.
Then there are the relationships. You mentioned Nash's brother, and the sources hint at something between Claw and Nash, too. Maybe some shared history, maybe some unresolved tension.
Yeah, it seems like there's a deeper connection there, possibly tested by past events or the current pressure, those personal dynamics, the trust, the loyalty, maybe even betrayal. That's what often grounds these high-concept plots.
It gives you something human to latch onto amidst all the tech and conspiracy.
Precisely. It adds that crucial emotional layer.
And of course, the appeal of secrets. Secret organizations like the ISTF, hidden tech like the Lynx Pyramid, global conspiracies. People love that stuff, don't they?
I think so. It taps into that curiosity about what might be going on behind the scenes, the hidden forces that could be shaping events. There's a certain allure to the clandestine.
Plus the satisfaction of figuring things out, the encrypted sound, the pyramid clues. It invites the reader to play along.
And having these highly skilled operatives, like Calla and the team who can do extraordinary things, operate outside the usual rules. That's part of the thrill, too.
It feels like the scope is pretty big as well. We mentioned Kauai, but London, Amsterdam, Madeira, Rome, Athens, some secret island. It's globe-trotting.
Which really emphasizes that the conflict isn't localized. It has worldwide implications. And notice how it blends real places like the British Museum and real agencies like MI6 or the CIA with fictional elements like Geostation Island or the ISTF.
That helps make it feel more grounded, more plausible, maybe.
I think so. It anchors the extraordinary parts in a world we recognize, and the different locations keep things visually dynamic.
There are also hints, even early on, that there's a deeper history here around the characters, the technology, suggesting it's not just a standalone incident, maybe.
Yeah, it feels like there's a whole universe built around this. For readers who like getting invested in a series, knowing there's potentially more backstory, more layers to uncover later on, that's a big plus. It suggests a richer reading experience.
Okay, so let's boil it down. If you're a techno-thriller fan listening right now, why specifically the Decrypter, the Storm's Eye? First off, if you like strong female leads with unique skills, Calla Cress sounds like she fits that perfectly.
Definitely. Her background alone makes her stand out. She's not just a clone of other action heroes.
And the tech angle. If you're into that near future, cutting edge stuff and how it could change everything, the Lynx Pyramid and weather control is a pretty big hook.
Oh, yeah. It's speculative science driving a high-stakes plot. Very appealing for fans who like that what-if element regarding technology.
How about the plot itself? Sounds like lots of twists, layers, mysteries, maybe some conspiracy.
All the ingredients seem to be there based on these initial points. The different threads, Seaback's escape, the encryption, the pyramid hunt, the shadowy figures suggest a complex puzzle to unravel.
And it's not just plot, right? It sounds like there's a balance, action sequences, but also time for the characters and their relationships.
That seems to be the aim. You get the hang gliding and infiltrations, but also the personal connections and dilemmas. It offers more than just constant chases.
Pace. Does it feel like it moves quickly?
The way it jumps between locations and mysteries early on suggests a pretty brisk pace, yeah. It feels like it wants to keep you turning pages, discovering the next piece of the puzzle.
Okay, and finally, that blend. Ancient mysteries may be hinted at by a pyramid, combined with futuristic concepts like quantum computing. That's a pretty unique mix.
It is. It creates this interesting tension between the old and the new, which could offer a really fresh take within the genre.
So if any of that, or maybe all of that, sounds like your kind of read, the Decrypter, the Storm's Eye, and the whole Calla Cress Technothriller series are out there. You'll find them wherever great books are sold online, in bookstores.
And the author, Rose Sandy, has a website too, silvergravityentertainment.com/Sandy. You can find info on the series there.
Right. So overall, it sounds like a solid bet for anyone who enjoys this genre: compelling characters, intricate plot, cool tech, big stakes, and some themes that make you think.
Yeah, it really seems to tick a lot of those boxes.
And it does make you wonder, as our own technology races ahead, how far are we really from some of these fictional scenarios? And this enduring fascination we have with secret plots and hidden power, what does that say about us, maybe? Something to chew on.
Definitely food for thought.
Well, if we've piqued your interest, hopefully you'll check out the Decrypter, the Storm's Eye. As always, thanks so much for sending us the source material to dive into. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Until the next deep dive.
You're something